We're live on the stream, but I'm not live on the record. Hey, everybody, welcome to League of Legends Anonymous podcast. It is I, your host, Wise Papa Smurf, with his youth minister energy, popping off, starting the podcast on a high note. Here we are. Also with me this week are Wormlax.
Hello, thank you. I'd
Hi,
like a nice
Wormlax.
golf clap to congratulate us for being here again.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm
This is a
doing great.
good
Thank
time.
you. Yes.
And also with me is
Peace be with
Danger
you.
Penguin. Danger. A somber hello to you, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm excited to be here. It's gonna be quite the cast.
Quite the cast indeed.
Whoa. Danger, I don't want any more outbursts from you. That was.
Danger, you're coming in a little hot.
My
Yeah.
apologies,
Trying
brothers.
to do a mellow ASMR vibe. You know, like Wise Papa Smurf's just sticking his tongue in your ear canal.
All right.
That's
I
kinda what
already
we're
don't
going
like
for.
this. I don't. No.
As
all
far
right.
as I saw in general chat, Wise Papa Smurf was sticking something else somewhere else.
Yeah. So, speaking of last episode, I think we
Glad you
kind
brought it
of
up.
I think we kind of jumped the shark last week, and I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do to top that. Because we started off talking about team fighting and ended up talking about me fucking a falcon while Sun Tzu looked on in shame. And, you know, of course, League of Legends Anonymous, we get fan art because, you know, all true content producers do. Right?
Mhm.
Worm, you were talking about Pokimane. What was her deal? What happened with her?
Yeah, I mean I just saw that she got like some nice picture. It was like a cute like anime like style of her, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, look how nice this is. Her fans love her. And then here we have Wise Papa Smurf.
Yeah,
And his
so
fan.
so wait,
Fucking
let me introduce the fan art I received. In the forefront of the picture is a falcon, and it looks terrified. Like it's not sure what's really going on. Like the face. Are you guys pulling this up? It's in general,
Yeah,
by the way.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
The
it too.
falcon just has this look like, but why? You know.
Why,
And then,
father?
and then behind the falcon is, of course, Papa Smurf. I mean, just right there. He's got this grin on his face, like you know what's happening to this bird. And then behind that is a full cornfield, right? So they've got like all the Lola memes in there. And then in the clouds above the cornfield is like the ghost of Sun Tzu looking angry at me for doing that to his work.
Now
So
we gotta credit who created it, right?
yep.
So,
So Ice Cream Dreams has the Photoshop skills that pay the bills on this one. So thank you, buddy, and also is a patron of the show. So shout out to him this week for being a patron of the show. At least he has been in the past. I don't know if he still is, but hey, I don't care if you're producing fan art like that.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for
It's just
ruining
a-
my dreams tonight.
it's just
Yeah.
a great community. I mean, who else?
It's
would
just
do
a
this
high
for you?
quality community. Did you see the next picture that was posted? So I got told, by the way, that they're like, oh man, with like Stitcher is 3 episodes behind. Like what's going on? Blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't know. All of our shit seems to be posted. I talked to our audio guy, and he's like, yeah, I live like downtown, right by the police station, the protests, and I've been trying to take part in that and doing my part to help and blah blah blah, and I just haven't been available to post the show. And I was like, oh shit. Well, I mean, we really got to do that because we, you know, people support us, so I want to give them a product, but I understand that that's important and socially relevant, and good on you for doing whatever you feel you need to do, given the current political climate that we talked about so eloquently last week. And, you know, that being said, I went to Stitcher to see what was going on with our episodes, right? And of course, I find it posted because he got all of it right before I got there. And it's posted. And I'm like, oh, sweet, it is posted. And then Stitcher has this thing where if you look at the episode, it's like, hey, if you like this, you might like this. Right? And I'm like, oh, I
Thanks,
wonder what it.
Stitcher.
I was like, I wonder what it's going to compare us to. Like, if it's going to be Trinity Force or, like, you know, League Cast. You know, if you like Lola, you might like these other fine League of Legends podcasts that are out there that are established and exist and talk about League of Legends. And I was like, yeah. Then I looked at what their comparison is, and it is Giant Bombcast 638. Title: I found drugs in a locker room and I did them.
So what you have to be impressed with is Stitcher's algorithm to be able to listen to that episode and properly derive what else someone else might like.
But that's weird because I will say, have you guys ever listened to the Bombcast? It is a legitimate gaming podcast. It's
Giant
not just
Bombcast is a gaming podcast?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
a
thank
gaming
God.
podcast.
At least we hit that. Okay,
It
I
just
just thought it
didn't
was a
sound like it.
podcast about
they-
making poor
I've
life
never
decisions.
heard
I didn't.
a title like that for their videos, and to be fair, I've only listened to them like once or twice, and that was like 3 years ago now. But they are a legitimate gaming podcast, so
All right.
we're in the right wheelhouse.
Way to go, Stitcher.
That's right, Stitcher. LOLA, legitimate gaming podcast.
They did pick that episode for a reason, though. Like, they did pick that
Yeah, I'm just saying.
particular episode for
I'm
a
not-
reason.
I'm not dogging on Stitcher here. That's a good match for us.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if it was good. And then what's funny is I brought this up to Zill and I posted that, and he's like, "Well, you know, we probably have more in common with that than Trinity Force." And I was like, "Fuck, he's right." Like, so, all right. Well, fair's fair, Stitcher. You win this round.
You win this one.
Because I'm
There's
pretty
more-
sure this episode we're talking about finding drugs in a locker and doing them. So, super.
There's some poor guy at Stitcher who has never played League of Legends, and he's not even understanding what we're talking about while he's listening. And then it also starts talking about Falcon fucking. He's just like,
He's like,
God damn it, what
"Oh,
is this?
I know the match for this one. Indeed. All right, guys. So, there we are. Thank you, Ice Cream Dreams, for the lovely fan art that we get. Like, we don't get like suave-looking pictures of us. We get
No.
pictures
That'd
of
be
our
a lot of
effigies.
fucking work. That would be
Yeah.
a lot of fucking work to turn these three
Yeah.
faces into suave, debonair gentlemen. So I don't blame you.
Hey, my mom says I'm cute.
Ladies.
I'm sure she does.
Wait, what? I just said ladies to our overwhelmingly male viewer base.
Yeah.
Fellas.
The one or two ladies out there are very offended right now for what you said.
They're like, no, I'm not doing that. All right, fair enough.
Fair enough.
So, welcome to League of Legends Anonymous, episode 279. This is the one where we talk about something, and I'm going to keep that a mystery until we decide what that is. So, fellas, what are we talking about today?
Well, I think we hit on a little bit of a subject, me and Worm, as we were chatting up until your arrival, and we were talking about healing in League of Legends. Healing is a very important thing that a lot of champs do, such as Soraka or Sylas. It's an integral portion of their kit, we'll say. What we're talking about is the fact that healing fucking sucks in League of Legends right now.
I didn't know if I
because-
was going to be the hot take on this one. 'Cause
Yeah.
You guys were referring to it as integral and important.
For
And I'm
for
like,
certain characters, we're okay with it, right?
I would
but
refer to it
now-
as ass cancer.
Very
Integral part
offensive
of
term.
You
Let's
being
see.
unable to poop without bleeding.
Let's see what he says next. See where this goes.
Go on. Let's see where he goes
No,
with this.
It fucking sucks. And what really sucks is you have to be worried about almost any champ becoming a monster heal tank right now, right? It's not just Aatrox. It's not just having Soraka heal the whole team. It's Ezreal with Death Dance and Frozen not Frozen Heart, the Iceborne Gauntlet, right? And all of a sudden now you can't kill Ezreal. He's healing for as much damage as you can do. And then there's Aphelios, who's there's polls everywhere on Twitter. Who are the worst champions made? And there's two champions that always top it. And it's Aphelios and Yuumi. And everyone fucking hates them. And they're fucking terrible characters and they're miserable. But right now, Aphelios is especially bad. And it's really fun to watch like the first day of LCK, which was today. And then you watch it like 2-2 Aphelios 1v3 three people on the other team. These are all pros, right? And there's a 2-2 Aphelios. Like, look out, motherfucker, because he's about to kill everyone because he just happened to have Red Gun and Death Dance.
He hit his going even power spike.
Like, so healing is in a terrible state in League of Legends because I'll let Wormlox talk a little bit about it, but he has to build Grievous Wounds every game. Talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, the biggest part, I mean, obviously Death's Dance and Blade of the Ruined King being recently buffed has been a huge problem with that. But I think even the bigger issue is the runes that are going on right now. You have Bloodline, Taste of Blood. I can't remember the exact other ones, but there's like 3 or 4 healing runes in your kit that will
Conqueror
give.
is a big.
Yeah, and Conqueror, duh. The main one. I was thinking of the secondary ones, but there's the even worse one, the main one, Conqueror. And all these runes, I mean, you can get like Bloodthirster levels of healing with runes. I mean, that's a problem. If you're
Yeah.
a ADC that can itemize full crit and yet you're healing like you built a Bloodthirster, like, and ADCs aren't even the worst offender of this.
So let
There's
me add on to that. What happens if you have all that stuff and you build a bloodthirster?
Yeah, exactly. Then it's even worse. Yeah,
So
and
like, I just want to say there's one thing that I absolutely hate about the healing meta. Well, actually, many things, but the one thing I hate probably more than anything is that it's free, and
Mhm.
and on top of being free, what makes it so egregious is that grievous wounds isn't enough
Mm-mm.
It's
because
not even close.
you don't have the ability. Like, we were playing against a volley bear. Granted, it was like a 9-0 volley bear, but a 9-0 anybody going into 5 people should die, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
doesn't
1v5.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or this is 9-1, but it's system. It's the same thing by comparison, right?
Right.
They go into anything, a team of 5, they should die. We had grievous wounds. I had the son of a bitch ignited, and I hit him with Brand's full combo, stunning him, and it didn't blink the heal. Like, it just kept coming back, and I'm like, we can't. We don't have the damage to kill this guy,
Hmm.
and we have the thing that's supposed to make sure we have like the airbag that's supposed to stop you from smashing into the healing steering wheel has been recalled.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know what to, so there's that. And then that is only compounded by healing and shield jumps
Hmm.
combining,
Yeah.
right? Because if you heal grievous wounds, cool. Throw a shield on a healing champ.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it's a real issue, and
Or like pair anybody with Lulu.
right. Hmm.
That's, you got heals, you have shields, and like boing, big
Yeah.
size so they can get their shit back, right?
And the big like crux of the issue is with it is not even that, like, the problem with healing is that it makes it feel like when you're playing against it, if you dump your kit into someone and you actually hit everything and then they still live because they have healing to mitigate that, even when you bought the item that's supposed to stop their healing, like, that just feels terrible to play as. Like, you feel like, what do I do differently? I don't have an avenue of playing better against this guy who just straight up healed through my damage. So it becomes this game of like, you either one shot the enemy or they heal enough and then you're just sitting there like, well, guess I'm dead now. Like, I don't have anything else left to do in this fight. I just dumped everything and they're fine.
Well,
And that
and
feels really bad to play.
that feeling is compounded by whenever you have somebody like a Soraka or an external source of healing.
Yumi.
Yeah, you've got to kill them first. Yumi, you can't kill first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what makes her so fucking strong right now.
Yeah.
And they nerfed Grievous Wounds what, like 2 seasons ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were like, it fucking sucks that you can just build this Grievous Wounds and all of a sudden Dr. Mungo becomes a joke, right? So they're like, we still want healing champs to be a thing. We still want Soraka to be able to do something.
Mhm.
I get that. That all made sense 2 fucking seasons ago. But now, when you have like you need, in my opinion, I think a good option might be stacking grievous wounds. So like if I hit you with grievous wounds and my friend hits you with grievous wounds, it's not 40%, it's 50%. And then my other friend hits you, it's 60%. Like you need an option to do like what a lot of mages do right now. They don't even fucking build Morello because it's such a weak stop to the heal. They build Leandries instead, which has actually been shown to do more damage than the healing reduction would reduce on most champions.
Yeah.
So like you're coming up with different ideas on how to handle
So
these
in
healing
that
champs.
game that we're talking about, I had Morello and Leandres. Still didn't break it.
No,
Yeah.
no, and that's overall, right? Just over, and they've created more champs that heal since then. Silas with his huge fucking Kingslayer, right? Yumi, who just jumps to every champ in the game and heals it. And you know, the big problem with Yumi is I can shut Yumi down in lane, or I can shut her ADC down, right? I've done it many times. 0-3, 0-4 ADC. You get to a team fight, sorry, mid's 3-1. Now that's fucking unkillable, right? Because she can just jump into that. But like, I'm not going to worry about this 0-3 ADC. It doesn't mean shit to me. I'm going to go over here. You just go farm for the next 20 minutes, and then you can come back and I'll jump in you, right? Because that's the problem, though, right? With Soraka, at least in theory, I can get to Soraka, kill Soraka, and then kill whoever I need to next.
The
But
shitty
with
thing
Yumi,
about that is that you have to.
yeah,
You have to ignore the big threat to go after
but
the
it's at
worthless
least
Soraka.
possible. With Yumi,
Yeah.
it's not even possible. It's just she gets to choose who she heals, and you can't stop the heals, and they're going to be so big that you can't kill the person, and then that person's going to kill your whole fucking team.
Yeah.
Um,
I think though all this like healing has just like oversaturated this season with like the systemic of the Conqueror and the other. I think if Conqueror had gotten strong this season, like just Conquer on itself right now, if it was the way it was, like it wouldn't be too bad. But they also buffed Bork, and then they also buffed Death's Dance.
They reworked it.
The second they released, literally, like as soon as I saw the news Death's Dance, I'm like, that's broken. You're giving resistance to an item that helps you like it's just a broken combination. And I saw multiple streamers and pros are like, holy cow, I can't believe they're doing this. And I remember seeing it for the very first time on a Leeson player that I watch on YouTube, Heisman. Like he was using it on PBE and he's like, holy crap, this is broken. He's like, oh, this will never go to live. Like this is on PBE. They're going to test it out for a week or two. They're going to realize it's too strong and it's never going to go live. And it's live. And it's been live for what, like 2-3 months now? And they haven't touched it at all. It's not even like, oh, they released it, it was too strong and they like pulled it back pretty fast. They haven't touched it. And
they've doubled down. That's what they've done recently, right?
Yeah, they actually said they were happy with the Bork changes.
Yes, they're happy with the Bork changes, and then they haven't touched Death's Dance. And
the Bork thing, I can understand. The Bork, if it was the only thing that got buffed, like that is understandable. But the fact that like champions like Aurelia, Renekton, Jax like abuse that combination with Conqueror so well, it's like the perfect storm to just make this healing meta that's so oppressive. That's not fun to play against.
So what can our listeners do to beat the healing meta?
Okay, so what you're supposed to do is build grievous wounds. You're supposed to build percent health damage. You're supposed to pick characters that have grievous wounds, because remember they released those like 2 or 3 characters that had super grievous wounds, like Katarina.
All right, Blake, you're wrong. What you do is you double down and you only do pick healing champions. All right?
I agree.
Become a meta abuser. You can't stop them. They're coming for you. So you just gotta be them instead.
And ban Yumi every game.
And ban Yumi
every game. Well, okay, so I haven't played against Yumi because I've banned it every game since it came out.
Me too. Yep.
Yeah. Like I never want to play against that champion. It doesn't matter. Like, and that's the thing is, like, I don't think it's like okay. For the same reason that people ban Yasuo because they find it to be so annoying, that's why I ban Yumi. I honestly think that since the nerfs, she's not broken.
Don't worry,
she's
she's
just
extra broken in pro play right now. So
yeah. Well, I'm just saying I don't feel like that because there's not a lot of people at in solo queue right now that can fully abuse what she can do.
right,
Right,
that's fair.
like that. I'm not so worried about. Her laning phase is actually pretty shitty. Like, okay, I can beat a Yumi. It's super annoying, and in the late game, it feels like there's just not a lot you can do, right? Like, it's kind of
You
like
can't have any of your lanes lose.
right. It's kind of like
Like
Zillion. Like, if you go up against a Zillion, Zillion's not very good in lane. You have to land a double bomb to do anything. It's pretty mana intensive. You don't like your ult is such a huge part of your kit, and your auto attacks do really nothing, right? So he's not super strong early. I mean, he can be if you land a whole bunch of double bombs, but it's more like I have poke harass, boom boom, and it's
Yeah.
not like oh my god, I'm a huge threat like a Brand or a Swain or a Zyra or anything like that. You're just not. Those characters can do what Zillion does more easily. Like Zyra can hit a root, Swain can hit a root, that's fine.
Yep.
Like all those things happen more easily. The advantage to Zillion is at late, he's very, very, very strong. Period. Like super fucking strong.
Right.
That's what Yumi feels like, but she's
Turn to the max.
yeah, like
And
that
less
super.
labor intensive to get good at, right? Like
Right.
Zillion, I feel like when I play against a good one, I feel like it feels oppressive. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is like hitting good double bombs. He's ulting at the right times. I'm frustrated, but I at least I'm like, wow, this is a good player. They
right,
are
you're impressed,
managing, yeah, they're
right?
managing their tools right. When it's Yumi, it's like, the Yumi just attached to a Master Yi and is just spamming their abilities as the Yi is just running me down. And sorry, I didn't pick a champion that can deal with this. So I have to either rely on someone else hitting their abilities that do manage it, or our team doesn't even have like a good tool to manage it. And like it hits a certain point in the game, and it's like, ye win condition, like this is over now. So yeah, it's the amount of like she just doesn't feel like a league champion. Like even like your comparison, you said like a lot of people ban Yasuo because they find him annoying. At least like Yasuo, like that's a pretty skill intensive champion. You know, sometimes he's overtuned, so he becomes easier. But a lot of the times it's like you have to be a good player to know as a Yasuo player when to engage and when not to. You're squishy. And of course, now is a time when that's not as true because of Death's Dance and other things. But with Yumi, it's I don't even feel like you're playing League of Legends. Like you're attaching and you're becoming like a secondary character to other people. Like that just doesn't gel with me at all with how I want to play this game or who I want to play against.
And
Like
you use two buttons. You use Q and you control who it hits really fucking hard, and then you hit W, which heals the person you're on. Like, I mean, it's like you don't even use any other buttons. Like, right? Or actually, it's E, isn't it? Is her
Yeah.
heal?
Oh, by
Fucker.
the way, Penguin, I forgot to mention this. Did you listen to the last episode?
I didn't finish it. No, but
Oh, it gets great. So at the end there was a petition from one of the fans that wants to change your name to Danger Falcon.
oh
If we make enough Patreon money, I said we would consider it. I'll talk
yeah,
to you
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
So there you go.
I could probably do that.
It's-
I've been Danger Penguin now for a few years, so
time to bring on the Falcon.
Time to bring out the Falcon. So
Just watch out for Papa Smurf after you do that.
yeah,
like-
that's the problem. You never know when someone's gonna sneak up behind you when you're a Falcon.
Danger Falcon, ladies.
looking pretty cute, Danger
Hey.
Falcon.
Feeling kind of cute. Maybe play League Letter. I don't know. I'm a Falcon.
Want a dual Q?
Feeling pretty cute. Made a field mouse later. I don't know.
It's a pretty nice cornfield you got there.
What am I doing in this cornfield? I heard 9 out of 10 falcon rapes happen in a cornfield. Oh my god!
Just watch out for the trucks. if
Just
you go near
another
the road.
statistic.
So, anywho,
Anywho.
back to relevance.
Mhm.
No, I mean the healing thing I think is a problem. Like, and that's the thing is I think Riot's really aware of it. Like to be totally
How
honest,
can they not be?
no, I think they are. There was a post like 3 or 4 years ago that was, I believe it was from Medler, and it was talking about Soraka and how he thought she was a problematic champion that didn't belong in League of Legends. and his exact words were like, "What does a white mage do for League of Legends? Like, you're not playing independently. You're purely there to
And he was talking
undo
about
some." Yeah,
her old kit, right? So
yeah,
that was before they made like the Q a skill shot, right? That's when you just touch someone and it healed them, or you touch someone and it gave them mana, right?
yeah,
That I believe that's what
yeah,
he was referring to.
yeah. It basically is like you're a buff bot,
Yeah.
and all you
Mhm.
do is buff people and keep them alive and blah blah blah.
So
Whenever they reworked her, she's still that. It's
yeah,
just not as egregious. Like, yeah, okay, so I have a skill shot. Okay. But
Yeah.
it's not even really all that hard to hit. It's not like a
no,
Nami bubble. You know,
no,
it's like
And
that
it's not the
fucking
reason
wide.
you play her either, right? It's
Right.
like once you hit like 20 minutes into the game, whether you hit that Q slow is pretty
almost
irrelevant or
meaningless.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're really just doing it to get the regen so you can heal and pass the regen off to more people. Like, that's all
right.
you're doing.
Mhm.
But, I mean, she's still that. And, like, in the context of what he said, is his point was, is that play style fundamentally good for League? Right? And he concluded that it isn't because it's essentially a fun stopper, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, you did something good? Cool. I'm going to undo that.
Yeah.
And like, why do we want that? Right?
Yeah.
Ah, shit, the stream just went down.
It says recording still.
Looks like
Yeah,
it's
this
back.
is your browser and oh, well, my browser had an error.
It's
Okay.
it's back for me. It's still running.
Okay, cool. So, like, that said, like, hey, it's an undo button. Like, it undoes fun. Why do we want that? Why do we want that to be a thing? And the catch there is like, well, you have that on other champions too. You know, Janna is a undo fun disengage champion, and that's I think Janna's fine, uh, albeit a
Yeah,
little annoying, but there's some skill expression there that I think
Yeah.
is
right. At
actually
least there's like
fair.
yeah, to disengage at the right time when you tornado into an engaging Leona, for instance, right? You
Hmm.
have to do that at the exact right time, otherwise you don't disengage properly, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I agree that there's significant skill expression, and I mean ever since they changed her shield to just be like on like a 3 second cooldown and let you auto win lane when she had a 55 win percent rate for like 2 years and just no one noticed because it's Janna.
And
But
she's super boring to play,
right,
and
so,
yeah.
so I still didn't play her, right? So fuck that. But
So I
yeah,
mean,
but then they
but
made
like,
Yumi.
yeah, I found, like I said, I found Janna to be far less egregious in that category for that reason, for all those reasons, really. And plus, shields are not heals. Like you have to
Right.
be on time. They don't stay around forever. You know, I
Right.
can't just make it as if it never happened, right?
Mhm.
You got to be on point at least. So I didn't have a problem with that. The shield or the healing stuff, I think it is a problem. And Medler even said, I think it's a problem, and he kind of
Yeah.
hinted that he was outvoted. That
Yeah.
while he thinks this is a problem and it's not good for the game, people are attached to the playstyle, so we're just gonna keep doing it, and that's cool. But I
Yeah.
didn't think, yeah, and this is like kind of my classic complaint with Riot is like Riot actually knows what they're doing, right? Like, believe it or not, they know what they're doing. They put out posts every now and then that say things like, "We acknowledge that this thing is a problem," and then they try to fix the problem, but they
The
don't.
wrong way. Yeah.
They do it the wrong way, and it's like, Jesus, guys, like you just said all the right things, and then you don't follow through with the things that you identify. And
Not
I
many people
wonder,
are picking Death's Dance. What should we do? Like, oh, let's rework it. Great idea. It's an item that's not used very often. Why don't we give it massive healing, armor, and magic resist so bruisers will want it? And then they can stay alive longer and might be more interesting. Great idea. What happens if ADCs take it? Who the fuck cares? Like
they'll never do that.
they want to do damage. They don't want any armor and magic resist. You fucking it. Fire this guy. Fire him. Get out of here.
ADCs doing that, ladies.
I would be really interested to know what the conversations are like at right. I think that's the biggest issue, right? All we get to see is the posts
The
that they
output.
make. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like posts from people like Riot Medler or back in the day Riot Millerello, who I don't think he's even on the balance team or even with
He is,
Riot anymore.
no, I believe he's still with Riot. He just works on I think the Riot Forge team. He's not
Okay,
on League. I'm pretty sure he's on one
gotcha.
of the other offshoots.
Right, but so either way, you have these two guys who both agree that healing is not a good thing for League, that it needs to be put in check to a degree, and they seem to go unheard. So there's either some like enough people inside Riot balancing team that just straight up don't agree with them, or I almost even wonder, since we do see like a lot of the official like statements seem to like understand these problems, I feel like it's almost they're not willing to like take the step over the ledge once they've done something. They're not willing
Well,
to
like
make a change that might shake things up too much in a way that ruins it even further.
I don't think that's fair because I think I've seen Riot just close their eyes and jump off the cliff on a number of things that are maybe even questionable as to why they've done that. So it's not like they're cowardice. Like
Hmm.
that is the problem. Like, oh my God, we're complete yellow bellies that are too scared to like tip the scales. Like, no, they'll smash the scales with a fucking hammer if they feel like it's necessary for the game.
Yeah,
I just wonder like how many voices between concept and iteration happen and
yeah,
like how much ideas get diluted down before they reach us,
yeah.
right?
Because I remember seeing one thing too from them back in the day where there was I think it was one of the testers, like a pro who had at one time been a play tester, talked about how the separation of the three categories that deal with champions is so insane. There's the people who make the like design the champions, there's the people who balance the champions, and then there's the play testers who are supposed to be giving information to the balancers to be changing. And the people who are designing the champions, making them, they don't really go into designing them with a lot of balance in mind. They just
Oh,
want to
you're
make.
talking about yeah, you're talking about the post from oh shit, the guy who made Thresh that
Yeah,
certainly T because he gets
yeah,
bitched at every time he makes a new champion for it being overloaded and blah blah blah.
Because
yeah.
they
The whole
are.
overloaded thing.
And
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
worry, he's done on League for right now. He's on another. He's still with Riot, but he's off fucking over some other game. So
so
that's a
right,
bonus.
like you get
you have,
you get
you
these
have a very
different.
harsh opinion on my boy. He made Thresh. I can't hate the man.
He made
True.
Thresh, and he did the Warwick remake. So he's 2 for 12.
But that
Fucking
whole idea, right?
idiot.
Like you have like all these separate
Jesus,
entities.
Penguin.
Damn.
He also made
You need a
Yasuo.
Snickers,
He
buddy. Like
also-
you're a little bitchy today.
You guys just making champions. Calm
We're,
down.
You
we're
guys
talking
are
about
trying to
healing
make
and we're talking
champions.
about certainty. Ugh.
So, but no, he actually like he made a post when somebody called him out and they're like, "Oh, your shit's so imbalanced." He's like, "I'm not on the balance team. Balance team makes balance. I make champions." And everybody was like, "But can you do that without doing that? Like,
Yeah.
surely."
That's how you get champions like Aphelios, where the kit is cool and it looks fun, but to actually balance all those different parts,
But
how
who
the
would
hell
make
are you gonna do that?
Aphelios? Who would have that? Oh, I know. It's certainty.
Did he make Aphelios?
He did make Aphelios. But who would make a character like
Oh,
Zoe, right? Who would make Zoe?
who's
Oh,
Zoe?
oh,
I know
oh, oh,
Zoe.
oh, I mean
Yeah,
Zoe. No, I
I
call
don't
her
know.
Zoe. She doesn't deserve that E part of her name. It was him. Callista, that's been a balanced nightmare ever since she was made. Who the fuck would have made that? Hey guys, I figured it out. It's certainly T. And Yasuo. So there
I
you
feel
go.
like certainly T must have bullied you in middle school.
No, all he had to do was create these champions. Really, would you like to guess what his last rework was?
Was it Phil
No.
6?
It was a collie, you
Oh, of
idiots.
course it was.
So there's your whole picture of this mad genius that we're talking
I mean,
about right now.
the man
The
made
guy
Thrush
makes
though.
champions that are super fun to play. I give him credit for that, no doubt about it. People get attached to these. People love them. But as you said, he's not on the balance team. Why does he care if it
Yeah.
makes
feel like-
everyone miserable in the game that's ever played it, right? It does.
I feel like
And if you remember release Zoe, I'm not talking about what Zoe is now. I'm talking about release Zoe. I'm talking about release Zoe, who was nerfed seven different times before
two
she
things.
ever got a buff again.
2 things on that. One, certainly T. God damn it! I forgot where I was gonna go with this because I kept trying to, and I couldn't get it out. But 2, the second thing, I'll come back to the first if I remember what the fuck it was. The second thing is that I remember arguing with Skarzard when he came on the podcast like X amount of years ago.
I remember that
Oh, I
conversation.
missed that.
And I'm
podcast.
like,
That was so sad.
Oh,
I was
so
so excited to have him on, and
Mhm.
like I was like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. He's like fun guy. He's pretty funny. He writes all the patch notes. This will be so good. And he's gonna be on our show, and I'm so excited. And he just left Riot, so I'll have something to talk about, and then he'll be honest about like what all the things are. That guy drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh, he would have died on that hill.
And like I was telling him, like, man, all the problems with Zoe are basically everything that Nidalee was. They're like, you guys killed Nidalee because it's not fun to get hit by a spear and die
Mhm.
like instantly. That sucks ass. And you said that sucks ass. Like you guys said that. I read the post. You said that. And then you made Zoe, who says the exact same thing.
Mhm.
Only
it's like-
worse.
Only, yeah, it's only she's more consistent.
Also with
at it.
RNG in the game because everyone loves
and
RNG.
plus infinite summoner spells if everyone
Yeah.
used them in the area. So,
So,
don't worry.
And he's like, no, it's cool. She's fine, totally balanceable. Like, the fuck? Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, why do you release champions like this? Like, why do you guys do that? I don't get how you tune and, like, an echo. You know, like-
I almost wonder if like now it's been like 2 years since he came on, like a year and a half, something like that. I
Mhm.
wonder if it was too close to him leaving there because even if
Because he knows the people so well, right? And they're his friends, so they're
Well, like,
Yeah.
I think he honestly thought that I was insulting Riot, right? And it's like that's not how I feel. Like
Mhm.
I don't feel like Riot is bad at making stuff. I think Riot makes really fucking cool stuff. I love
agree.
Valorant. You know, I love everything that they're doing with that right
I
now.
wouldn't play League for like 8 years if I didn't.
Yeah, I
like
fucking
this.
love this game, right? Like
Yeah.
it's my favorite video game. So, yeah, I made a podcast on it for Christ's sakes. Like I like your game.
Yeah.
Right? I don't
Mhm.
hate you. My problem is I see that what you're doing is very smart and I like it. And you say all the things like we don't make offensive and defensive items. That's impossible to balance and always results in shit. Like, yep, you're right.
Like-
You know,
And-
100%. And then like, so you remove an offense and defense item from the game and put another one back that's better. Like, what? You know, like you guys just said, you hit the nail on the head, and then you're like, somebody rip out that fucking nail. An
It's in the
eyesore.
way.
And you know what we should put in the place of that nail? An offense and defense item.
Yeah.
For Riot Games. And it's like I said, that's what I don't get is like, man, I actually like, and I think he thought whenever I'm like, hey, Zoe, like, you're talking about game balance. And I mean, his attitude was like, yeah, it's game balance and we know better. Right? And I'm like, okay, well then, if that's true, how do you explain Zoe when Nidalee didn't pass your bar? Right?
Mhm.
Like, you said Nidalee's bad. Zoe's same thing. No, it's not the same thing. What?
Come on, bro. Come
You
on.
gotta do better than that. Like,
Yeah, you can't just say no and move on. Like, oh, sorry.
Nope,
that's
and
the end
you're
of the
wrong.
argument. Yeah.
and you're dumb, 200 years of experience. Like,
Sorry, Blake, you're an idiot.
And it's like-
Case shut and closed.
well, like, I mean, that just absolutely blew my mind because I'm like, dude, this is the shit that people complain about with Riot. That, like, whenever somebody's like, hey, this is clear and obvious and wrong and it's against what you said, and Riot's like, yeah, but it's not. We're fine. We love it. I love the way. I love the way that champion talks to you, Chip.
Nothing
winner.
is fucked here.
You know.
Hey, Akali Shroud, we want it to be invincible to turret shots. So don't worry about it. We're going to stick with it. Year and a half later, like, that may have been a mistake. What I'm really looking forward to is when the next champion is released and makes it immune to turret shots. Oh, wait, it's Volibear. I found him. They're like, because they come up with an idea for a game-changing mechanic, right? And it's, whoa,
Okay,
this is novel.
so-
I haven't seen this before.
Okay, back up. To be fair to Riot, that is a cool mechanic. That can actually make for really cool plays. That can undo a feeling of safety that you have and enable somebody to do something really fucking cool with way less risk and work, and that's awesome. The problem was they put it on a useless item before that. Like, oh, I've got an ohm wrecker.
Right.
Like, if you got an ohm wrecker, you would get reported for intentionally feeding.
That's
before.
for 2G.
People would be like, what the fuck is... No! Like, you sell that piece of shit now and take
Hey,
the
guys.
loss.
Guys, I know what to do. First item, ohm record. Who's with
Yeah.
me?
Buy 3/4 of a real item, you dumbass. You know, that's what you would get from a team. And so, like, I think their actually answer to that is pretty brilliant. Like, okay, so we're going to put it on the
Right.
ultimate of a champion.
Right,
that-
and that's
yeah.
the key, right? You said ultimate, right? So,
Mhm.
but maybe they did rework that in a way that works, right? Because it's on an ultimate, it has a timer. You don't get to sit under the turret and twiddle your thumbs and then dash 85 yards away, right? So that's the bonus. But they were so stuck on it for so long, right? They nerfed everything in her kit. Like, they took away all of her damage. They made her energy higher. Like, they just fucking crushed the champion into solid dust because they wanted that shroud to do exactly what they said it did. Then they not only had to take that away, they had to make it so that when she got CC'd in it, she became revealed, right? They had to make it so that she moved less fast. Like, they had to nerf not just that portion, but like 8 other portions of that ability.
Mhm.
That's the big issue, right? Is that there's just every ability does so much, right?
Yeah.
It can't just hit someone.
We gotta
I hit you
make
with
sure
this.
that any Riot employee, we gotta keep a list of them and make sure that none of them go into the medical field ever. If you ever go up to a Riot employee and you're like, "Oh my god, I've been shot in the leg," they'll be like bandaging your arm, like, "It's gonna be okay. I got you. This will be fine."
It's going to be okay.
My
You
leg.
have... Yeah, it's going to be okay. You have 2 dicks now.
I mean, this is kind of
Wait,
cool, but this isn't what I
what?
wanted.
Yeah,
Well,
we
now
balanced
I don't know
it.
how to feel.
We had 200 years of medical experience attaching extra dicks to people. You got a couple of them now. Pick one, you'll love it. The other one you probably won't. But
one doesn't work at all, but you got
yeah,
it.
it's a cosmetic dick. It has a dick cover in case you fall into a vagina by accident.
By accident.
Which won't happen because you have 2 dicks. So no woman is going anywhere near you once they see what's going
I
on
don't know,
down there.
That's probably, you could probably use that. That's probably marketable.
I don't think so.
Ah.
Like, just go find my wife real quick and be
I
like,
mean,
hey, dear.
People are into threesomes. Now you can do a threesome all by yourself. Like,
This is not marketable.
You know how you were missing the dick in this threesome? Not anymore.
Not anymore, friends. I brought a
Have
couple.
I got the procedure for you?
I got a spare. The
have you
Riot
been down in your
Studios.
luck? Have you been trying to give your girl the 2 fingers, but just aren't good enough? Now it's time for 2
But
dicks.
The lack flexibility? Not anymore. Don't need to do yoga. You got 2 dicks. Do whatever you want with the second one. We're not looking. We don't even know where it's exactly attached, but you'll figure it out.
Oh shit! They put it on my butt. How am I supposed to?
When you like wet your shirt by accident. So anyway,
Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. It's whatever. I wonder what they're gonna match us up with other podcasts this week. Like,
It's definitely
you
a
like
forecast.
Lola podcast? You'll love 2 Dick Jerry's threesome podcast. He's a polyamorous old skank.
Sounds like my kind of guy. We should hang out.
Yeah, Welcome to Polyamorous Jerry's Love Podcast Dungeon. Similar to League of Legends Anonymous. If you like
Very
that,
similar.
check it out.
They have
Also,
Falcons too.
yeah. Also, League Cast.
I don't know League Quest at all.
You don't know League Cast? They've been around forever. Aiden used to be on our show, and then he got smart and went back to League Cast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that he was on a podcast. I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, he was also in Twitch chat a little while ago, which is why I compared League Cast to.
Oh, that is him.
Yeah, that's Aiden. He's in the chat.
Hey, Aiden.
He also mentioned that the Yumi changes on the PvE look good, so hopefully there's hope.
What did they change?
They're changing her her heal, I believe, to be based off of the percent mana that she has. So taking things like presence of mind on her aren't going to be as effective. So instead of just like a base number, so you can build a ton of mana so that you never run out, even well attached, so you don't even have to use her passive. The idea is that it'll be base plus a percent of mana, so it's going to always dwindle her mana down.
Gotcha.
Which I do think is important to skill expression. I also still think the champion will suck to play against. I just believe that's inherent in the design. It's inherent in Aphelios's design, is not knowing what that next gun is going to be. Like when he runs out of bullets. Yes, I can see 2 of his guns now. Remember, on release you could see 1 gun, so that was fucking dumb. But now you can at least see 2 guns. But that runs out, and then the very next ult is the root ult that you didn't see because he didn't have either of those weapons equipped until he shot that last shot. You're never going to be able to prepare for it because you don't have the information at hand. And I think that's just inherent in the design of these kits. And they're going for interesting kits over balanceable kits. And then the only way to balance them is then to tank their numbers. I think Aphelios is getting another nerf. Everyone saw all the ultra healing that he was doing. So I think his R with the heal gun is getting a huge reduction, something from 50% down to 20. So like a massive reduction, so that you no longer see that pop of heal. Why does, just an honest question, he heals with the gun. Why does it have to have an overheal component that also builds him a shield? Like, why does that have to be in there? You could.
Yeah, they just.
You can go back to kitchen sink complaints, and I mean, I think that was actually my first point on Certain AT.
Okay, let's find it back. Yeah,
it's a kitchen sink.
Complaint 1 from 20 minutes
because
ago.
That's what I got into with Skarsgård on. Is I was like, dude, everybody does everything anymore. Like, how do you balance a kit where you have like 1,000 moving parts, right? And his point to that was you also have 1,000 levers to pull, right? And I'm like, yeah, but if you have 1,000 levers, then you're inherently better than a champion who has 2 good levers, right? Like, this champion is 2-dimensional. This champion is infinitely dimensional and versatile and whatever. So the problem is if you just start flicking levers because they're too powerful, right? Then you've taken away what versatility makes that champion attractive, right? And there's a fine line between having 1,000 versatile switches and having a 2-dimensional champion, because these champions get reworked, right? The 2-dimensionals get reworked into something more that's more appealing. May still be simple, but is at least more relevant and fresh and whatever, and that's
like
fine.
Volibear. I think so far it seems like that is something that they can tune. Like he came out really weak, right? Like 33 win percent or something like that.
Yeah,
I remember looking at the win percent and like his like good against was like his best against was like a 48%. So like you were like, if I go against a champion, I counter. I'll just barely lose most of the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he had a 43% win rate. He's at 51% win rate this patch. He went up by 8%.
Right, and they buffed like 4 things on him, right?
Yeah, they buffed the dicks out of him. Yeah.
But in my opinion, I believe
They
the
gave
kit
him
is
2 dicks.
balanceable, right?
Yeah.
It is balanceable. Should be maybe,
Huge bear dicks.
right? Because he's got a dash with a stun. You know, like it's not a dash with a stun that heals and shields you at the same time.
Now, Volleybear gets your picnic basket and fucks your park ranger.
Yeah, picnic basket.
Couple of dicks. He's got a couple
Yogi
of
Bear
dicks.
just got a lot scary.
Hi there, boo boo. I got a couple of dicks.
Yeah, I never want Blake to be a part of any kid show ever.
Oh, that would I would be awesome at kid shows. I just would have to have a script set out in front of me and not. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I actually remember what I was gonna say.
And we're back.
We're back. No, I was gonna say certainly T is like the President Trump of champion designers, where he's like, I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch of shit out there. AIDS. Figure out how to make that policy. Trump out. Poof. And then like you're like, we're building a wall. God damn it. Poof. And then Senate's like, what the fuck? How do we even justify this expenditure? Okay, we'll do that, Mr. Trump. Shit. You know, like the aide's like, no, he didn't mean that. And certainly D's like, no, I released that shit. Balance it. Good luck.
And guess what? You can't take it away because people love it.
Yeah, people
they
fucking love
love
it.
They like eat it up, and now you're fucking stuck with it.
Welcome to
Aphelios
certainly
is very
Twitter.
popular.
This shit's live, bitches. Like, good luck.
Right.
You know-
You can't ever take away Yasuo. He's like the most popular champion in the game. So he's always gonna be there. He just is.
Like Yasuo is one of those ones though that like, even though he can be egregious, like I'm okay with him. He's got stuff in his kit that's overpowered, but like I'm okay with him. His numbers can be changed to a point where he's not egregious. But like
His
Yumi is
numbers
the
aren't
one
the
where he-
problem. It's the goddamn wind wall.
Right,
That's the
Windwall
problem.
is a huge it's a huge game changer in one ability.
And why does the passive need the crit? I just don't fucking get that. Like, take that off the passive. It doesn't need to be there. It's a passive. It's as you walk, you gain a shield, and your shield protects you. Like, that's a fucking great passive that makes perfect sense, and you can balance it. And then, oh, here's the line at the bottom: you get free crit. Whee! You know, like it doesn't even belong in there. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, because he's a samurai.
Oh.
Yeah, they're known for critting.
Right, obviously. Well,
Duh.
I'm the idiot.
They usually
Dumbass.
crit themselves though, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Some boo-boo.
So, but that being said, man, like, I get, like, to me, you balance Yasuo. Wind wall only becomes effective when it fully extends. And then it's balanced.
And it doesn't come from his body.
Well, no,
Yeah,
that's
it
the
comes
problem is it comes from his body.
But
It
that's what I'm
goes
saying,
out.
Don't let it do that.
Well, no, I'm saying it comes from the body and it goes out. And even if a projectile has already hit you,
Yeah,
no, it didn't.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's a problem. So you fix that by making it have the exact same animation, but it doesn't block projectiles till it gets here.
Yeah.
seems so
Because that makes sense.
obvious.
Like, I made a whoosh, and now the wind's going to go out, and then it's going to set up, and then it's going to be a wall.
Not, I'm thinking of whooshing. Haha, what has already hit me did not.
I have been shot! Whoosh! Like, ah! Like, you're not
So,
fucking
like,
zillion. You're.
Yasuo's one like you only really need like some small changes to it and you can start to like see a place where you could be balanced.
Yeah.
But like Yumi is one, and like you saw this with Mord when they reworked him the first time, where it like hit this point there where they were like, shit, we can't balance this champion. Like we just can't. And I feel like Yumi is kind of that place where it's like you can't balance her in a satisfactory place. She's either going to be too weak where like she doesn't matter, or she's going to be too strong and like you have to ban her. And so I feel like you maybe find a way to keep the identity of the way she plays, but take away like the way she attaches to. So bring her back to the like way League of Legends is supposed to be played, a champion on your own playing with your teammates. But like her ultimate is fine. Her ultimate is a good idea. Long range, like root that takes time to build up and root them. Like her healing.
It's a lookout Sona ult.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
I'm gonna get you. Look
Yeah.
out! Look out! Yep, gotcha. You know that.
So-
Okay, fine, cool.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like even though she just came out, she almost needs like a Mordekaiser treatment. Like Mordekaiser, when he first got moved to the bot lane and was a juggernaut, he was just like egregiously OP, and he was banned like 99% at the worlds that he
Yep.
was at. And it's like
Played once.
yeah, and they were like, all right, we gotta go back to the drawing board. We gotta change this. And now like more.
It only
Hold
took
on.
him 2 years to do that, by the way.
Played
Yeah.
once, won, ladies.
Look at me now.
So
yeah,
I mean,
Yumi needs a complete rehaul, and they're not going to do it for 3 years, right?
Right.
but
3
I
or
mean
4
that's the
years.
thing
He's
is
gonna
like
stay there.
that's the thing though. Really though, Riot has smart people. They really do. Like they have people who are capable. I wonder if there's something with their corporate structure, like how ideas get bounced around a team or whatever, because like generally like team collaboration is like the death of cool creativity
Mhm.
because you can't take somebody's creative idea and iterate it 100 times and it's still really better.
Yeah,
Like
I almost wonder if they have like a major majority like system where it has to be like over like 75 or 80% agree with something to like implement it. Like it has to be more
Yeah.
than a certain
I
amount on the
like
team.
it would be a very interesting like Riot post to talk about how their ideas process.
Mhm.
That is something I would love to read. Is like how do we get
Yeah.
from this to this,
I
right?
think
Like
part of the issue why they don't do that. I mean, they already get enough of the
Black.
like yelling at them
And
on
let's be
Twitter
honest.
and Reddit and everything.
Riot puts way more out there than most companies. Let's give them credit for
Mhm.
that. They
Yeah.
put way more out there about their process than anyone else does.
Yeah.
So, like I know I've been shitting on, a specific individual and just Riot in general, I guess, this episode. But they are very transparent with what a lot of their shit is, way more than like Blizzard ever was or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like they put that shit out there and they say, hey, this is what we're working on.
Yeah.
What are some people's thoughts? Like they did that when they were doing the rework of like Rengar and LeBlanc, right? How everyone hated the new Rengar and his swim, like his swim attack that they did. And so then they're like, hey, we're thinking of reverting it. They went into the mains subreddits. They're like, hey, let's take a vote. Who wants this reverted? Who likes swimming Rengar? And it's like, well, it looks like 22% of you are going to be disappointed because swimming Rengar is going to go away. It's a really
So-
fucking stupid move.
So let me do this a little bit though. I think they do that a little bit too much. Right? Like there are obvious things that anybody who's played the game, and I know they play the game there, like I know they do, that anybody who's played the game would be able to tell you in literally a heartbeat, right? So like the whole toxicity thing. I actually made a Reddit post about this. Which I'm surprised didn't get banned for bandwagoning or some shit. Because that always seems to happen to me whenever I post anything on Reddit. So like I made a Reddit post, and the Reddit post was basically like, okay, Voy Boy's video came out like literally a month and like it was like 5 weeks ago, which would be 6 now, right? And nothing has actually been done that's tangible to combat toxicity. I'm still seeing the same behaviors. And it's like I get coronavirus and nobody has whatever, any ability to view any games or anything like that. But like they haven't expanded the filters, they haven't whatever. And I also get that haste makes waste. Like you can't rush a solution or your solution's going to suck. I get that, right? But like what Riot's first step was to poll people about what they viewed to be the problem. They released the data this week about these are our poll results. Turns out you guys really don't like game ruining behavior and it happens a lot.
Like no shit.
Like guys, what? Like fucking duh.
You've
You
never been
needed
in
to
a
do a
solo queue
poll?
game?
Like How much did you waste on that? Like, who wasted their time figuring out that people don't like game ruining behavior? Like, oh my god, this is groundbreaking. Like, improve your detection algorithms. You already know what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's unnecessary iteration on, like, okay, let's identify the problem. Reddit fucking identified the problem for you. Voyboy told you. This
Yeah.
is the fucking problem. Like, now you need to talk about what you're going to think about doing to fix it. Right? Like, you
100%.
should have already been moved past phase 0, identification, into phase 1,
How do we?
actualization of a solution. Like, that drove me insane because I read it and it's like, okay, we're still 2 patches off. We're doing.
Meanwhile, like 80 to 90% of all league partners are toxic pieces of shit. So it's like,
Well, yeah, it's like you have
what can you
that
do?
problem.
Yeah.
Literally, the LPP is a fucking joke right now, and there's like European support mains coming forward, like, yeah, I'm not gonna call out Tyler One, but
Yeah.
we're a joke because you've put us in with all these guys who are super fucking toxic, and now it's actually more of a detriment for me to say that I'm in the league partnership
Yeah.
program than it is of value.
The problem is that right now, Twitch toxicity sells. Like the top streamers,
Yeah.
the top players, it is more fun, at least for the like whatever the majority is on Twitch. It's more fun to watch these people who play at a high level and literally spit on like diamond players. And it's like, it's so frustrating to watch because it's like diamond players are vastly better than the majority of League of Legends players. And like I can even understand to a degree that they are much worse than master and challenger players. Like I get that there is a large skill disparity there, but if you are constantly shitting on them for 8 hours a day on your stream for the last 3 years, how do you think the rest of the league community is going to turn into? Yeah, of course league is way more toxic now. Like are the top people who make the most money for Riot through streaming are the worst perpetrators of that kind of mentality. So it's like, and they're not going to cut them off because Tyler One makes them a shit ton of money. Like,
But does he? I mean, because here's the thing: if you
I
killed
think
Tyler One,
he drives viewership to LCS because especially since they integrated him into like he's been on
And he
DraftKings
does.
stuff
He
like
just
that.
gets like tens of thousands more viewers when he's streaming than other people. I can't remember which streamer it was, but they put out a message like 2 days ago on Twitter that said, and so another thing that I think a lot of people have problems with, and we're not going to go into detail of it here, but is smurfing, right? When you get a smurf in your game, you don't have fun. When you get a smurf in your clash game, you don't have fun, right? You don't like, yes, they're 17-0 and they stomped everyone and you lost. Or even when you get a smurf on your own team, like I don't have fun watching my top lane run roughshot over the entire map. Like for me, that's not interesting. But they put out like a tweet that said, what, I'm going to sit in my grandmaster queue on my main account for 25 minutes to play? No, I'm going to go play on my smurf and stomp gold and plat players, because not only is that fun for me, but it gets more views. So he's like, I make more money putting out um the videos, the VODs of watch what AP Rakan can do, like, because they're just so much better. They're a grandmaster player or a challenger player going up against plat players or gold players, and they just make them into jokes, right? So he's like, I make more money and I'm going to keep doing it. Like that's one of the it was, I don't want to use names because I can't remember exactly which one it was that I follow. But yeah, that's what he said. And that is a terrible mentality to have in your, like, as someone who's promoting your game. It was an LPP, I know that, because it was a because I only follow LPPs because I do all the retweets and things trying to get free skins, right? Why not? Like it
yeah,
takes me
you
0
always tag
seconds.
me in them, by the way.
You're my, because I don't have any friends on Twitter. I'm a 38-year-old man who only follows League. So there's not a single person from my regular life that I am linked to via Twitter, nor would I want them to be, just to watch me follow all of this
Yeah.
League shit.
So like, so that's a very valid, like, okay, personal experience moment. I don't know if you guys even have followed what's happened to me in the last fucking week, but like, I am 0 and 11 in solo queue. Lost 11 games in a row. Demoted from plat.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Mega oof. And here's the reality of that situation. Before I lost 11 games, I won 8 in a row. Then lost 11 and demoted.
8 sounds better.
Yeah.
Could have stuck with that.
Sure. But I mean, that's the thing is, so I was playing and we had games that were entirely like they're winnable. They're winnable games. And Platt is literally the worst mentality players ever because like everybody's got a chip on their shoulder. Everybody hates the people around them because they think everybody around them's holding them back and like they think they're fucking idiots and blah 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 blah. And some of them honestly are. Like some people have peaked and this is the highest I will ever get and I'm playing and I'm terrible. Right? Like that's Platt. You get some of those. And then you get people who are legitimate on their ways. And then you get Smurfs because it's Platt. And that's the land of people still kind of know what they're doing, so it's not a complete shitstorm, but I can still crush the shit out of this. So let's bring a Smurf there. Right? Like, cool. And it's as you seed an account up to diamond, gotta go through Platt. So, I mean, that's what's gonna happen, right? Cool.
It's where they get their best material, right?
Right.
Because the other players aren't just walking around in circles like looking
Right.
lost. They're playing with some level
Modicum
of skill.
of skill.
Right.
So that being said, like here's your issue. You bring Smurfs in, and it's like the opposite value of toxicity, right? Like people would say, like toxicity actually benefits your climb if you're not toxic. And you're like, what the fuck do you mean by that? Well, the enemy team has 5 players who could be toxic statistically, and your team only has 4. Because if you're not toxic, there's only 4 open slots. Cool.
Right.
Smurfing is the opposite. If
Right.
you're not a Smurf, you have 4 open slots for Smurfs, and the enemy team has 5. So it's something that's going to statistically fuck you. And generally, in other seasons, I've not seen as many Smurfs as I have like this season.
Absolutely.
So in my
100%
11 game,
agree.
yeah, in my 11 game loss streak, 5 of those were people who had over 60% win rates with very few games played, which is a high indicator of you're a Smurf.
Yep.
In one game that we lost, and the guy's talking shit and playing with his food with our top laner and like trading kills and telling the guy, "Oh my god, I can't believe you died with flash up. You're such a piece of shit." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, something's weird about this. Then the guy just changes gears and goes off, takes over the game. He is a. We looked up his stream. He's a challenger player. Like, shit. Challenger and Grandmaster mid laner who's playing top.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's in my 11 games. That's one of the ones we lost.
Surprisingly.
Shocking. And then here's another one that drives me insane. I had a 6-1 Hecarim that was playing out of his mind. Crushed the early game. He was a top Hecarim top. Okay? Just crushed it. Kicked ass. Felt good about it. Our J4 was 13-1. Everybody else was even, like 2-2. So it's not like we had a couple of superheroes and they had a couple of no, we were just hard beating the piss out of them. Period. One engage on a team fight goes bad, and they go too hard because they're playing cocky, and they die, and then we lose the team fight. Cool, we lost the team fight. It's hardly fatal. We're up 19 kills or some shit still, right? Guys like, this Hecarim's fucking dumb. We're never gonna win. I'm done. Drops it. Just drops the game. I'm like, you're 13-2. You have every resource on our team. You can't stop fighting. Like, what are you doing? And the Hecarim's like, yeah, fuck this guy. I don't want to play with him anyway. He doesn't deserve the win. And I'm like, if you guys don't play this game, I'm gonna fucking demote. Like, try. You know, you have to. This is ranked. Like, try. Nope. Game's over, man. how am I going to report either of those guys for giving up, quitting, griefing?
Right? Because you're gonna see the score line,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like, "Nope," and then move
They'll
on.
be like, okay, sure they did. But no, we lost that game because our two Fed players mentally boomed and gave up. And it's like, this is, you could read chat. If you read the chat, you'd go, oh, what the hell? Like, I've never seen a mental like this on a guy who's up 13-2. You know, like, what the shit? But, like, this is what I'm dealing with. And, like, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to bring everybody up and, like, joke around and, like, hey, it's all right, guys. Don't kill each other.
I'm like
We're all
a
friends.
fucking counselor out here, man.
Yeah,
It's
I'm like a
it's
fucking
it's like,
camp
"Top
counselor.
sucks." I'd be like, "Yeah, but you're playing great." You know, like that's what you do. You play to the ego,
Yeah,
right? You gotta be
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
like give him time. He scales, right? You know, like you
Yeah.
You gotta
say
suck both their
anything.
dicks.
We'll get you a
anything to
merit
try and-
badge, champ, on
anything
playing
to try
smart.
and get that guy to walk back out of the fountain. Just walk back out of the fountain, buddy. Come on, just come on out. It's okay out here.
But I mean, it's warm and safe. You know, like, I don't know what to, you know, and so I literally just had like 11 unwinnable games. Like, there were like 3 of them that were winnable, but they weren't winnable by me. And that was like, I mean, it felt terrible. And it's like, I'm to a point where I was telling the Discord, I was like, guys, I think I just got to take a break. I think I got to take a break from ranked, reset my mental, come back into it when it feels fresh and I'm not so pissed. And it's like, and it was at that point that I broke down and I'm like, where is the addressment of in game behavior? Because, like, if these people were just trying to be adults, and to be completely honest, I could give 2 shits whether the league loses 30% of its player base if 30% of its player base are pieces of shit. Right? Like, I know Riot would care because they're like, oh my God, that's 30% of revenues. And how, like, but here's the thing, ban them. Ban them because they suck to play with. Ban them because they're sucking the life out of your game. Ban them because you will, like, if I don't want to play ranked and I am a fucking whale on this game, like, you can lose 10 of those kids as long as you don't lose me. You know what I mean? Like you're still breaking out ahead. And if I don't want to play League, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not trying to be like, I should matter. I spend all the monies. It's just more that, like,
Cash money.
but I mean, like, you've got people who love your game that hate your game because of what you've allowed it to become.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think in large part my frustration is we've identified the problem for you. Like, you've got to do something to fix this, like, now. And to say, like, this, oh yeah, we're going to implement, you know, fucking pre-game reporting. Cool.
That was
I
like,
can
what, 2
dodge.
years ago?
Well, no, like, I can dodge and I lose 3 LP. What happens if you troll me in-game?
Yeah.
What, can I dodge? Can I get out of it with less EXP
Don't worry,
loss?
there's a report system.
Right. You know, like, there's so many things that it's like, if we detect someone's inting on your team on purpose, give the losing team, like, some of the LP back. You do that on dodge. You know what I mean? Like, or you do that on whatever, whenever you,
Lever Buster.
the remake. You do it on remake. The AFKer gets full loss. Everybody else gets like a dodge or nothing.
Yeah, it's just 0.
Yeah,
Just
just 0.
So, but the guy who left gets full loss.
Yep.
Why should I get full loss if I'm trying and this game is not my fault and the loss doesn't express my skill? That seems like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You know, like, you implement a lever buster, whatever, remake system for toxic games. If you can honestly detect that someone is toxic, and you can set that at a high threshold, people would at least care.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Like, I've got a place for you. A place where you belong. It's called FlexQ.
fuck FlexQ. So
come on, man. Come join FlexQ.
Here's the
It's
problem
where
I have with
happiness
FlexQ.
reigns supreme.
I joined it. I've played it. and I hate it. And the reasons I hate it are severalfold. First, I'm on a team that are people that are like at or near my level, but they always want to bring in people that aren't. And so it's like flex Q is the 3 diamonds, 2 silvers, and a bronze. Let's go. And it's like, no, let's not. Like, this is not the game being played at its competitive peak. This is the game being played on some dumb fuck shenanigans horse shit. And in order for us to play 3 diamonds, a silver, and a bronze, we all three got to hop on Smurf accounts and play in our gold flex thing. And it's like, why? Well, now my flex rating is fucking accurate because I've been demoted to gold. But, prior to that, it's like, okay, so I'm a plat player that gets, or plat, diamond, whatever. I mean, I've been diamond for however many seasons. I'm that demoted to a gold level? How is that fair matchmaking? How does that matter? Like, it, like, solo queue is an expression of what you as an individual can do. That's the rating I want. Because here's what happened. Whenever I solo duoed my way to diamond, I got told that I got carried to diamond. Okay? Like that happened. People are like, oh yeah, you got diamond. Sure you did. Maybe Ponderous got diamond. Maybe Exiles got diamond. I'm like, I played more than half of those games alone, assholes. Like, but whatever. Cool. That's fine. Flex is like that 100 times over. Like, oh yeah, whose flex team did you get on? Like, glad you got that flex rating. Got carried by.
It's a lot nicer place to play. It is not nearly as toxic as solo queue right now.
Oh, undeniable, because it's mostly teams.
Exactly.
Right? And so I get that.
For one, they mental boom less, right? Because your mid, who's getting stomped 0-4, is duoed with your jungle, who's 3-1. And so the 3-1 is keeping the 0-4 from mental booming. He's like, hey, dude, we got this. Don't worry about it. We'll come back. You're a scaler, right? So it keeps him from mental booming. And that is really nice because then they don't start raging and you don't get the AFKs, right? You don't get the AFK levers. I don't know.
Like, dude, I don't mental boom and flex because I forget it's ranked. And that's how much it matters to me. Just so we're clear.
See, so now you need to mental boom. Like you need to get this readjusted and be like, you know what? Maybe I want to play competitive league. Only I want to play it where it's not as miserable. Because solo queue is it's in a bad state. And from everything that we've said right now from this episode and everything that we've said in the last like 5 episodes, I don't think anyone's having fun in solo queue. We're all playing solo queue still because we love League of Legends. Well, maybe you're not, but
I haven't played in like 2 weeks. I'm back on the TFT train.
Yeah, no, and TFT is great. Don't get me wrong. But I'm still playing solo queue. I've been fluctuating plat 2 now for the last like week or so, and it's just I win a game, I lose a game, I lose a game, I win a game, I win a game, I lose a game. Maybe that's where I belong in the end. Maybe I'm just a plat 2 player. No issue.
It feels like this season is the least expression, like Blake was saying, it's like the least expression of individual skill that it's ever been. Like, and I think it's been trending that way for a lot of seasons, and then the toxicity we've seen this season exasperates that notion. Because there's way more toxicity this season, even those games where you're supposed to have that chance where it's like, all right, here's the one where you can play to your best skill to carry your team. Oh, never mind. You got a lever. Oh, never mind. You got a guy who.
We're like, oh, I forgot about that. I got a game where my jungler DC'd for 5 minutes. Okay, like, do DC'd. Top laner's like, game's fucking over. We're done. Open top. Goes back to fountain. Uses his teleport to go from fountain to first inhibitor turret, and then walks back around fountain, starts doing laps, and we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, game's not over, man. We can win without a jungler. Like, give it a go. Nope, game's fucking over. You guys are fucking delusional. Surrender, surrender, surrender. And we're like, we're not doing it. Yeah. He lost the surrender vote 1-3. Then our jungler came back 5 minutes later, and he's like, sorry, guys, I don't know what happened to the internet, but I restarted my router. I'm back. We're like, cool. Catch up, EXP. Jungler, get back to your fucking lane. Nope, game's over, dude. He fucked us. We're done. We won 3 team fights, 4v5. The guy would not come back and do anything. Just ran
Insane.
circles around the base. I can't win with that.
No.
Right? And it's like,
No.
Riot
it's
should
just
be
not
able
fun.
to detect this. Riot should be able to detect this and punish that son of a bitch. And I've got nothing. Like,
Yeah.
nothing happened. I got no report. He's not going to get punished because nobody's getting punished right now. And that's the problem is,
And they all know it.
and
They
yeah, that's the
all
problem is they
fucking
all know it.
Everyone's willing to do all of this shit because they know there's no punishment coming. That's the big kicker, right? Because Riot came out and said, because of everyone working from home, we're just letting the automated system do what it can do, and we're not working on it. And when they said that, that fucking opened the floodgates over the past 3 months of just every person who's normally a toxic piece of shit, but who will keep playing the game, now has become a toxic piece of shit who will make sure this game is ruined for everyone he deems that he deems it worthy to. You know, he's like, well, I decided I don't like you because you gave up first blood, even though it was a close fight, and you got a kill on the back end. But even though we're 1-1 right now, I don't like you. And that was a stupid play, and I warned you. So fuck you. This game's over. And they're all willing to do it because they all know that they're free. There's no issue. There's no way that they're getting banned. And so until they come out and they just do like a sweeping list of like all of you are fucked for what you've been doing, then and that disseminates out to everyone, right? Because right now everyone knows they're free, so you have to make sure that you do this, and you do this in like a very public manner so that they
You
know.
gotta do it to your streamers.
Yeah.
You gotta start there. You gotta cut the heads off
They
some
won't, though.
streamers. And
They
just be
won't.
like, hey, sorry, Tyler one. You're
Did you
fucking
see
banned.
that High got a
Yes.
2-week ban for like almost nothing?
It's,
So,
again,
like-
it's the whole thing with Riot. They cut off the wrong head of the beast they're trying to kill. They were like, toxicity is really bad right now. So we put on probation the guy who said a bad word while he was talking to someone else who AFK'd. Like, are you freaking kidding me? How easy is that situation to rectify? And they made it worse.
No,
They
they
didn't
doubled
even.
down.
Did you
They doubled down.
Did
What?
you see the response?
Yeah.
Oh,
They were
hey,
like,
hi. We're
"Sometimes
sorry,
you
but
messed up."
yeah, man, that at the beginning here, you were all right when you said these things, and that was okay. And then, like, when you pointed out that the
That
other
he was
person was
AFK.
AFK,
That's
and you said we could be winning this game if you would try, you're 1-6, and you're like, oh man, it's never okay to say your team's score. Like,
you're
what?
bleeding from the leg and you're bandaging the arm. That's what it comes down to.
Like,
Yeah.
so hi, we've installed a second dick on your account.
They literally gaslighted High. They were like, you did some bad too, so we're just gonna, as a fair thing to middle ground of the situation, you're only on probation. You never did anything that bad, and there's tons of other people doing terrible things under our program, but you are the problem, High.
There is one more thing that did fly under the radar that I want to talk about before we shut this down, because we're at like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
there is one more thing that I want to talk about when I talk about toxicity and the LPP. Did you guys watch the video from the European support guy that made the LPP "What's the problem with it" video?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay. Apparently, and this is news to me, and I wonder why this didn't blow up, or if everybody just knows this and I didn't, right? If you are in the League Partner Program, you get access to a special LPP Discord that has Riot employees and shit in it. And if someone is toxic to you, you can directly report it as an LPP member to this Discord, and it will be immediately investigated with a video review.
I actually have heard of that, yeah. I heard about it like way back when the LPP first came out. Apparently it doesn't work.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that. First off, why, like, I get that you probably can't open such a feature to the public,
Right.
because it's just the manpower is
Millions of videos
exponentially.
would come in daily, right?
Yeah. But my God, how much would I love the ability for that to be available publicly? Is to actually
Yeah.
just
What
have
happens if each person was allowed one a year? Oh my God! Wouldn't you just wait for that one guy who's just like
just
the
be like,
biggest asshole? And be like,
I
yes.
feel like
I
there
mean,
should be like a red button covered in plexiglass on every person's computer that Riot just sends you like a red nuclear button. You can just, and it's like,
honestly though, with
you're
how
at
bad,
DEF CON 2, and you just smash the shit out of it, and like, I'm gonna nuke that son of a bitch's account. Welcome to Riot Hell, you son of a bitch. You know, one
ban
a
that
year, or
man.
like, let me buy it in RP, and if I'm right, you then refund it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that would
I
be awesome.
I feel like with the level of toxicity that League is at now, and if it gets any worse, like we're gonna start seeing actual drops in player base.
I think you're
I
already
think,
seeing actual drops in player
yeah.
base.
Otherwise,
So
why they wouldn't have even cared about Voy Boy's video. Let's be fucking
right.
honest. If they don't
So
have any numbers backing that up, they wouldn't have even blinked.
right. So I almost wonder. I mean, with how big of a company Riot is, how much money they have to be making.
Well, okay, back
Is
that up because
there?
I don't think that's fair. I think they would have paid attention to Voy Boy's video because
Yeah, I think.
Riot does care about and pay attention and listen to the community. Like, the problem is they're 3 years behind an obvious problem.
All right.
I mean, Boy had to actually make the video, right?
Yeah, the
That's
problem is that the video had to be
yeah.
made, and it's like everybody at Riot plays solo queue. You banned Tyler at one point
But
for
they're like,
life.
shit, he makes us lots of money. We should bring him back.
No, it's not even that. It's that they had like corporate guilt for one of their people getting on a Discord and calling him a cancerous homunculus something else. Like, the guy got real deep in Tyler's shit and it made the front page of Reddit.
Right.
And they're like, oh shit, we've had somebody just expose that we hate this guy. And because we've exposed that we hate him
Yeah,
now,
imagine hating someone who is a toxic piece of crap.
well,
What a concept.
I mean, to be honest, like, Tyler is the wave of change that started 3 or 4 years ago that brought in the cesspool. Like, the dude rode in on a wave of garbage and has lived on a mountain of garbage, and we're surprised that we look around and there's garbage everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Like
somehow,
literally twice per week, there's a post on Reddit. It's like, here's Tyler being extremely toxic and AFKing in a challenger level game, and then like it's like, okay, wow, that sucks. Like he's being a dickhead, like usual, and then just move on. Like that's all that happens. All that happens is it gets attention,
like,
and then life
they're
goes
like,
on.
dude has fans. Dude has
Yeah.
fans that's like, oh, all hail the garbage king.
What were you going to
And
say, Wormlex? I'm interested. You were going on a point, and then we sidetracked you.
yeah,
Do you
my bad.
recall?
What's your point?
About oh god, I may have lost.
Yeah, it's
it
hard,
now.
isn't it?
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, come
No,
back to it
I want to
about
try and
30
get back
minutes
to it
from
before
now.
we're too far away.
It was
We were talking about like the
oh
league.
the losing the player base with how profitable Riot must be, even if it can't be every league player, or even is there a reasonable task force they could create to actually do more report like scrubbing than they do now? Like they can't be an unprofitable company. They have to be making a shit ton of money with how much money they bring in. Like there's no way they don't have money to throw around. Could they, if with this becoming such a huge problem, like, and it wouldn't even have to be like, oh, we have to set up like another space in our headquarters to like you can have people just work remote. Like you could interview people and get them involved with, okay, like you're sitting at home at your computer, your job now is we're going to send you like, here's a list of reports for you to go through for the day. And I think they already do that to an extent, but like just ramp it up, right? Like there's got to be some, like there used to be,
Well,
I think it was
okay.
The
in like
tribunal, man. The tribunal
Yeah.
worked because you could put people to work who play your game. And I used to participate in it because I loved reading the shit and then feeling like I had a hand in making the game a better place, right? I used to do the tribunal all the time because you would read through logs and you'd be like, no, this guy's just complaining for no reason. He didn't say anything that bad. Not guilty. And then be like, this guy is
Yeah,
disgusting.
mobilize your
Definitely guilty.
mobilize
This
your
guy
player
is
base
double
again.
sniffed. Jesus, double, calm down.
What if you even did like reward your player base for that kind of stuff? Like on Twitch, they have a thing that like if you watch ads, you can get bits. Like you do, okay, you go through 10 like reports, and if you flag it, if enough people flag the same report that you looked at, it gets actually sent to someone to actually look at. And after you do like 20 or something, you actually get like 20 or 30 RP. So it's like after a certain amount of time, like it's going to take you a long
There
time to
are
get
so
actual
many
skin.
solutions. I agree. There are
Yeah.
so many solutions that would help your player base. I, I think they need to start doing something because, like you said, we
Or I hope
we've
they
all been
are.
playing
Maybe
the
they
game.
are. Maybe they are. I
Right,
hope they
maybe
are.
we've all been playing the game for a
Yeah.
really long time, and I think without a doubt everyone agrees this is the most toxic season that they've ever experienced. And it's not just words. The words are terrible, but it is AFKs, it is rage quits, it is
Well,
purposefully
like,
hinting, it is trolling chat before you ever get into the game, saying like, oh, they banned my character, so I don't want to play this game, but I'm in
Mhm.
promo, or but I'm at the bottom, so I don't want to demote, so I'm not gonna leave, so someone else has to, like there's just so many ways that the community is imploding on itself right now that they're you to me, you should be taking drastic measures. You should be trying systems as fast but you can't because the client might not support these things.
Right.
Riot has lever busted
Small indie
everyone.
company. It's going to take a while.
But I mean, that, like, to be fair though, like, kind of want the
Per-
last word, I guess, and we'll just shut it down after
Yeah,
this. But to be fair, you're talking about billions of games.
yeah.
Like, there is no
absolutely.
way you're gonna have manpower to be able to do that. And that's the problem with game ruining behavior is it's subjective. Like, language is objective. You use the hard R in word, you're out of here. Easy fix, right? And that's why everybody gets so pissed. They're like, "Oh, only language matters." But like, how do
That's
you
easy to pick
detect?
up.
Yeah, it's easy to detect. Okay, so easy. That's low-hanging fruit that we can pick.
And you
The
should.
problem,
That's a good thing to monitor. I have no issue with that.
yeah,
Like
yeah, like I said, the problem is the average guy doesn't have access to your, LPP Discord where I can actually report the behavior that ruins games. Right? And then the other thing is, how could you be one of those LPP game reviewer guys and be like, I just got sent a video from Tyler One where he's saying somebody else is being toxic and he is being really toxic. Can we ban them both? Oh no, we can't? Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay. Like, that kind of, like, I don't know, like, something about the preferential treatment on that kind of bothers me, but I guess preferential treatment is the name of the LPP, is kind of the whole point.
right,
Right. Yeah.
But like, access to fundamental fairness should not be a perk. And I think I'll
Yeah.
just end the discussion with that. Like, if the game had that for everybody, if everybody had a sense of recourse, even if we got a golden gun, one bullet, I would be more okay with that. Because at
Yeah.
least I could shoot that bullet when I thought it fucking mattered.
right.
You
Like
know,
I'd
and
make sure it was very patently clear that when I shot that golden bullet, you get one report a year, like golden report, and you send it, and someone automatically reviews it. That would be I would pay for that. I would literally pay money to know that
Yeah.
like the worst experience that I have in League, that there will be someone on the other end who is getting a punishment for it.
right, like a Clash token, I would buy that.
Yeah.
I would buy golden gun bullets. I would. I would always have one in my gun.
Riot,
Always.
listen, you want some money? Let us shoot people we don't like.
Yeah. Like I'm saying,
Wait a
if you
second.
gave everybody
Wait a second
one,
here.
like I said, if you gave everybody one, that would auto filter itself.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't fire their one shot unless they knew they were going to hit it.
Yeah.
And guess what? On the other end, people would be more afraid to act in that way.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
think
we can do
actually
that.
we just solved the problem. I hope Riot listens to us and that they didn't turn this off because of danger in the first 20 minutes. I
That
think
might not have helped us.
I think we solved toxicity, gentlemen.
Good on us. Let's have a round of champagne.
All right. So with that, we will wind it out. Sorry guys that the posts haven't been coming out like they should. Our audio guy got wrapped up in some protesting, as I said. So hopefully you guys can understand and we'll move on, right? If you actually follow the YouTube channel, I've been uploading those every single week. So even though the audio podcast hasn't been out, the YouTube stuff has been timely. I'm going to do the same thing after we're done recording this, so you can look for that on Wednesday night, latest Thursday,
We're
if I
very
forget.
cute too for video.
So, and it's all on a playlist that's marked video podcast. So, if you feel like you're missing us or we're not on your streaming platform or something's happened with Sam, our audio editor, check out the actual video production. It's there. And usually there's some like after footage shit where I turn off the audio and then we talk for a while and I forget to turn off the stream and it's great. So,
Just class.
solid LOLA. You know?
If you hear the stuff we say on the podcast, wait till you hear it off the podcast.
Wait till you hear when we did the drugs we found in that locker. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Good night, everybody. Audio is stopped.
Well, we found something to talk about.
Dude, we always find something to talk about.
We
just telling
really
you,
found
like-
something this time.
Honestly, that golden bullet is so smart. It's just so fucking
I
smart.
actually,
we sold.
yeah,
I think it's
that
like
is a good
brilliant.
idea.
I don't want to toot our own horns, but that just seems so.
I kind of want to make a Reddit post about it.
You should.
Don't talk about Lola in it.
No, you should talk about Lola. Promote.
Yeah, promote and get it closed.
They won't catch us. It'll be too late. Ugh.
Did you like my list of certain PT champions?
Certain what champions?
Certainly tees.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
you
got a
think
nice-
he only has one bad champion?
Oh,
You
Look
are
at
so
all this-
wrong.
Look at all this fun stuff he's done.
Oh, what is just a litany of champions who I
Man.
absolutely loathe.
I could go
And every time
on.
I think like I find one that I can just ban out for the rest of time, there's always another one.
Yep, I feel the
I'm like,
same way.
I'm banning Zoe for life. That champion is trash. And I'm like, I'm banning Akali for life. That champion is trash.
God,
I will never play a game with Aphelios ever again. And then someone like found like I feel like whoever created Yumi found certainly T's like lost book. You know, he like opened it up and he's like, oh,
amazing
idea for a champion that can't be targeted ever and can heal everyone. I'm gonna be rich.
Beautiful.
They're gonna love this shit. Here we go.
And then so it's just not listed under certainly T, but it was him. I know it was. That reeks of his
You
champion.
sneaky bastard.
You guys playing a game or you guys up?
I'll play. Give me a minute.
I'm actually going to bed. I have an interview tomorrow morning, so
Nice.
back on the grindstone. But it's a virtual interview, so at least I don't have
Oh,
to
that'll be interesting.
go anywhere. I've been looking for, with all the COVID stuff, there's a lot of now like job sites and stuff will what's the word for it? They'll filter by only remote positions. So I'm gonna get myself a remote position, just work from home. Fuck going
Nice.
and working in a warehouse. That just sucks.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Yeah, this was fun. I will catch you guys later.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Thanks.
All right, I only got time for an ARAM. Is that good with
That's
you?
fine. Yeah, I don't care. I'll be there in 1 second. I'm filling out the rest of this Reddit port.
So you guys trying for your third?
Yep.
Got my
Nice.
second on the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How far along?
Just did the 20-week appointment yesterday. When you get to go do the ultrasound and all that jazz.
Yeah, that's always fun. My kid was like full Monty for the ultrasound.
My first one was this time he was being a little dick and he was like wrapped and like she was like, there's his feet and there's his head. His feet are over his head. And he like didn't move for like 30 minutes. So had to like have my wife get up and do some jumping
So,
jacks.
by the way, I'm stopping the stream right now.
That's fine.